Hello, my name is Mukakomanya Afredin. I'm working on making the core project under account for business go, and we are going to see different outlines, different points we need to discuss about doing this presentation. First of all, I'm going to give an outline for this slide presentation. The first point is about talking if the practice generates enough cash to cover its current obligations. The second one is if the practice like to be able to meet its long-term obligation as they become due. And also the third one to discuss about the net worth they are getting all the equity, and to show if they are improving their profitability on a sustainable basis. Also to discuss another point about how might the hospital acquisition of Dr. Fido's practice impact the future financial performance of practice itself. The last point, it will be all the factors considered. Do you think it is a good idea for the hospital to acquire the practice? Why or why not? By starting on the first point, cash generated to cover its current obligation by basing on its financial statement, which combines income statement and balance sheet. We consider the liquidity ratio, where we consider the current ratio and quick ratio. We say that the practice is generating the cash, enough cash, which meets its current obligation or short obligation. This is because the liquidity ratio is more than 1, and according to Kenton, they say that when the liquidity ratio, the current ratio and quick is more than 1, it means that the current cash is enough to cover its short-term obligations or its current obligations. That is why we conclude by saying that it is enough. For the second point about if the practice likely to be able to meet its long-term obligation as they become due. On this point, we consider debt management ratios, where we check on debt to total assets and times interest earned. By checking on the debt to total assets from 2013, it was 95.5%, and in 2014 it increased around 19%. This means that according to the Canton and Hayes, they say that as the company meets with higher percentage in debt to total assets, it means that there is a higher risk also, because they are slowing down into a risk zone where their whole assets are financed in debt. And by considering times interest earned, in 2013 there was a worse where it was minus 26.54 times, and in 2014 it was 1.19, which means that there is increase from 2013 to 2014. And this shows that even though in 2013 they were in a worse position, but in 2014 they are able to meet its long-term obligation. And this I can make it conclude that it will cover those financed assets in debt, and this means that they will be able to meet its long-term obligation. And when the interest continue to increase, it means that they are making profit. By proceeding with a new point which said about the patient encounters and the average correction period they use to correct their accounts receivable, we can just use asset management ratios, where according to CCD consultant said that the average correction period should not exceed 10 to 15 days, and by observing the average correction period used during 2013 and 2014 correction, it already exceeded 10 to 15 days. This means that they did not collect its account receivable on time, and basing on the inventory turnover and fixed assets and the total assets, its patient encounters did not increase as they spend much time collecting their account receivable. Also, these were affected by the financial issues of the assets which were used in the new practice, and this affected the inventory turnover and average correction, but it has increased the fixed asset turnover as they use their fixed asset to generate profit, and is also shown in the profitability ratios, where it has increased from 2013 to 2014. By proceeding with the next point, which is about the net worth or equity of the practices, and to see if it is improving on a sustainable basis, we can mainly focus on the profitability ratios from 2013 to 2014, where by basing on the ratios calculated from the income statement and balance sheet, there is a high increase in the profitability ratios from 2013 to 2014, where for instance, any profit margin on the revenue, it was in the minus 6.7% in the 2013, but it increased to 0.17% in 2014. As the same as other ratios, it means that the practice is improving its profitability on a sustainable basis. Also, you can consider its equity, where in 2013 was $7,616 US, and in 2012 was $8,173. And by basing on this range of amount that took place between the 2013 to 2014 profitability ratios, the practice's profitability increased from negative side to positive during those 2 years. Also, by basing on the Donny site note, there is a financial issues which was there during the acquisition period, which impacted the profitability ratios to increase highly due to the fact that they bought a new medical diagnostic devices which played a big role in their daily duties. For instance, when they buy that new medical diagnostic devices, help them to make or to work on the different duties that was difficult in the past, and this enhanced their productivity as well as their profitability level. The next point is all about the impact of acquisition of the hospital on the future financial performance of the practice itself. Basically, in the previous, the practice was a sole proprietorship as a type of business where it was owned by Dr. Fido only, but after deciding to sell it to another buyers or businesses to make partnership with other businesses to become an organization, there is a trend that took place in the business. For instance, while she was a sole proprietorship, it was so hard to manage liabilities or long-term obligations, but after becoming an organization, it is easy for them to handle them as their organization instead of one person. Also, another impact is that currently Dr. Fido is responsible to admit 250 inpatients and 1,100 outpatients for diagnostic and surgical procedures annually at Stronger Memorial Hospital, and this means that it will increase also the profit. The more patients, the more profit. Also, they bought new medical diagnostic device which will help them to revolutionize the worldwide market for medical diagnostic related to diabetes and weight loss, and this will increase the number of customers or the number of patients as they revolutionize the market. By continuing with the impact, like we can see about the other scenario from the Donny site note, which is all about, they said that the most of the large non-operating gain on the 2014 income statement led to a one-time insurance distribution by FDIC after it took control of a failed commercial bank where Dr. Fido's practice used to maintain its checking account. These financial issues affected the liquidity ratios in 2014, where it decreased compared to the amount earned, or the liquidity ratio in 2013, even though they can meet the current obligation, but there is that gap of slowing down instead of increasing their liquidity, and they decreased in both current ratios and the quick ratios. This means that there is an impact resulted from those non-operating gains occurred in 2013. About the last point of all factors considered, do you think it is a good idea for the hospital to acquire the practice? Why or why not? I think it is a good idea for a hospital to acquire the practice because it will help them to go beyond the bottom line as they send many patients to Stronger Memorial Hospital for both inpatient and outpatient services. Another thing is that after the acquisition, they will use the accounting staff who will in charge of taking care of the operations of the hospital on daily basis, and this will help Dr. Fido to focus on her career and continue her research in the medical field, and this will enhance the productivity of their workers as well as their satisfying the customers' needs. Also, by considering the profitability level as the quantitative factors, they are strongly improving, which means that it is a good idea to acquire the practice. As by considering the profit level they are in, there is a high increase in the profit and year by year, and this I can conclude by saying it is a good idea to acquire the practice. Or the last one, it's all about the reference list. This is the reference where I took different ideas that I connected to make content that made this slide presentation.